Hello, this is Dick Marchese from Cloud training series on Google Workspace. Today we're going to be focusing on highlighting the best new Google Workspace features released in July and August. We have a number of new features that have come out each and every day, and we wanted to hand pick and hand select the best ones for you and your organization. So hopefully this gives you an idea of some of the things that have come out and whether or not they can apply to make your organization run more effectively. All right, here's a list of all the topics we're going to cover. I'm just going to touch on these today. If you have any questions after the fact, please email us at webinars@cloudasta.com. All right, so the first one is limiting external messaging to trusted domains in Google Chat. Google Chat's becoming so widely used by so many organizations, and you have the ability to use it externally as well. So maybe you want that, but you also want to limit it to different domains that you trust. So that's something that you can add in the admin console. So if I go, I'm going to toggle over here in my admin console here, just to show you what this looks like. I'm going to navigate to apps over on the left side, and I'm going to expand this Google Workspace, and then I'm going to scroll down to Google Chat. Then I'm going to scroll down on the right side all the way down to external chat settings, open that up. And under here it says chat externally. We can click that. And now we have this other checkbox button here to only allow for whitelisted domains. We can check that box and hit this manage whitelisted domains here. Let's hit save. Save. And then we can go into that list and add domains that we trust onto that list. And that way, you'll be able to message with the domains on that list, but not other domains. All right, let's keep moving. Adding up to 25 co-hosts and expanded safety features for Meet. As everybody knows, Meet has been such a vital part of the fabric of working remotely or virtually or in a hybrid setting. So being able to enhance those safety features and provide co-host abilities is really a long time coming thing. And I'm really excited to see that this is all finally rolling out. Assigning up to 25 co-hosts per meeting gives these co-hosts the same access and host controls that you would have. And we'll talk a little bit more about what those are. Being able to limit who can share their screen, who can send chat messages, being able to mute all users, ending meetings. Those abilities now are more expanded, more robust. And there's a little screen cap here. I know it's a little blurred, where you can go ahead and toggle those on and off in your host controls for any particular meeting. And those co-hosts will also have the ability to toggle those on and off. And then again, reminding us that we have that quick access setting to control who needs permission to join. So if quick access is turned on, folks who are invited can join, but if it is turned off, we need to go ahead and have that those permissions where they are allowed to, they have to ask to join. We have a bunch of different things here. Again, going in and looking at how this applies to you and your meetings and your team is really important. So I encourage you to open up a Google Meet room, go into your settings, look at your host controls, and really look at all of these options, because maybe some will apply to a certain meeting and some will not. So that is something that you kind of need to play around with and figure out what works best for you. And to assign a co-host, all you would do on the right side there is pull up that attendee window. You can see that little screenshot on the right side with a bunch of guests. If you click that three-dot menu next to them, there's a add as co-host or make co-host button there. All right, let's keep rolling. Something that has been in the works for a while is that Google Meet support for Internet Explorer 11 ended about a month and a half ago. So if you have users in your organization still using IE 11, please make sure that you are rolling those users over to Chrome to make sure that they're getting all of the support and updates that are necessary moving forward. And last but not least, this was one that we've talked about in the past, but wanted to bring it back up again because it's kind of gotten some updates, was enhancing some live stream stuff with Google Meet. So cross-domain live streams was added recently, where you can add a trusted domain to your settings. So that way you can now live stream outside of your domain to other domains. And also being able to add captions into live streams as well. Captions have been in Google Meet rooms for a while, but not necessarily in live streams. Keeping in mind that Google Meet live streams is only available on certain plans, and those are listed here, and you should consider if you are on one of these plans or not. If you are not one of these plans and you're interested in using live streams and you want to reach out to someone at our team about how you can do that, please email us at webinars@cloudasta.com. Okay, here are some user settings. Again, admins are users, so you'll also have some fun with this, but just a little idea of what is out there for the masses. So you may have probably seen this rolled out to your calendar. These time insights are built into your calendar now to give you a better understanding of how you're spending your time. So there are three major sections that you'll see. There's time breakdown, time in meetings, and people you meet with. So the time breakdown is based off of your working hours and the types of meetings you've been having. You can see there we've got 1-to-1, 3+ guests, need to respond, things like that. Time in meetings highlights some meeting heavy days and timeframes, right? This week was really heavy. This time of day is really heavy. You know, your Tuesdays are crazy, or you're spending 4.5 hours in meetings a day. So really interesting insights that I think you should totally check out. This information is visible to you only, not your manager or your admins. So you can assess how you're spending your time against your own priorities. It'll also show you who you're spending the most time with, and who whether you're not you want to be able to go ahead and maybe you better organize some things because you're not meeting with certain people often enough, or you're meeting with certain people too often. All right, and then we got another 1 or 2 calendar updates here. One that's newer, sharing where you're working from. So we know that there are a lot of people who are working in different locations, depending on the times of day and the days of the week. And we want to be able to offer a little bit of that flexibility so that not only can you indicate that, but your coworkers can know when and where you're working. So they've rolled out where your working hours and locations are. You can see that you can add if you're working from the office, from home, from somewhere else. You don't want to specify, and what those hours are. And then they just show up as kind of recurring events on your calendar. And anyone with free, busy access to your calendar can also view those locations. You could turn them off anytime in your calendar settings. You can see there we have the enable working hours toggle and the enable working location toggle. That's just in your general calendar settings. So if I were to go into my calendar here, if I were to go under my NIC test here, I would click here in settings. I can go and scroll down. Let's see, where'd you go? Oh, general settings. Where'd you go, friend? General settings. Here we go. Sorry about that. And we can go ahead and toggle this on or off, enable working hours, enable working location, and we can change this to home, change this to unspecified, and which days of the week, and all that jazz. So something you can play around with. All right. Another thing that was a little bit older, but I think it's probably like one of the most useful day-to-day features is indicating how you'll be attending a meeting. So instead of just saying yes or no, you could say yes in a meeting room, or yes, but joining virtually. This can be really helpful if you're in a physical environment where you're meeting every now and then with some people, but there are some times where you may be meeting online because maybe it's too large of a group, or there's not enough physical space to meet. So being able to kind of indicate that is going to be a really, really helpful thing, especially if you have any sort of hybrid workspace setting going on. Maybe you have folks working remotely and physically. So being able to indicate that so you know what needs to be set up configuration-wise, how to best prepare your materials, and so on and so forth. All right. Replacing your background with video in Google Meet. So on iOS, and this has been around for the web, although on the web they really just rolled out some really great examples where you can have some great backgrounds going on with the videos of being in the forest, and you've got trees and leaves coming down, and so on and so forth. Now being able to add that onto iOS as well, and I believe that is coming out for Android soon. So you should totally check this out. Right now, clearly I'm using just a static background, but maybe one day we'll up that and it'll be a virtual video background as well. And then one more Google Meet feature here is helping users prevent echo. So we know that, Meet has been doing an excellent job at trying to automatically filter out echo that's happening if they hear something funky going on. But sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to determine who's causing the echo, what's doing it, and so on and so forth. So now there's a little bit more help that's granted there. So if you've got an echo going on and Meet realizes that you're the one causing it, you are the culprit, it'll give you a little pop-up at the bottom that says, "You're causing echo. Get help here." If you click that button, it'll give you some tips on how you can go ahead and remove that echo. And so that way, like, you can get rid of the feedback loops and be more productive in your meetings. All right. Save time by replying to comments in Google Docs with Smart Reply and Smart Compose. Smart Compose has been out for a bit of time now in Google Docs, where if your organization has this turned on, where you're able to start typing, and either in email or in Docs, Google is trying to help you compose based off of artificial intelligence and trying to figure out what you are looking to say. And they've recently rolled this out into comments in Google Docs. So Smart Compose has been in comments for a little bit, and most recently it was paired with Smart Replies, which have been on the Gmail app on mobile, and also now in Google Docs, to go to save you a little bit of time with some of those top rated replies that are there. As a user, you could turn this off by going into a Google Doc, going to Tools, Preferences, and turning on and off Smart Reply suggestions. Maybe something you're interested in, maybe not. But that is also a thing that is now there. And one of our last things today is a repeat from last time, but is the side-by-side Google Slides collaboration in Google Chat. So if you're using Google Chat on the web, right, you can see here we've got the marketing team chat room, and Jeffrey has dropped a slide deck in there. And when I go ahead and click that slide deck, it's opening right here within Gmail. So I could be editing the slide deck live, I could be chatting live, and I could still be within my Gmail interface. A really great way where Google is bringing everything together in a seamlessly integrated sort of way. And you don't have to necessarily have 72 tabs open, although I know I do. But this way you can go ahead and try and keep things in one place and not have to navigate back and forth too much. If there are any questions about any of these features, or there's another feature that did come out and you want to know a little bit more about it, please email us at webinars@cloudasta.com. My name is Nick. Our next webinar is going to be in 2 weeks, and it's what is Google Vault and what should I know about it? This is going to be specifically for admins, and it's on the 14th at 4 p.m. Eastern. I hope you come, and thanks so much for listening.